Welcome back, everybody, to Dracula 3, Path of the Dragon. To start off our riveting episode, we're going to do something dastardly. Make a phone call! Kill me!
This is Cardinal Felicio Briganti.
This is Father Arno Moriani.
How is your investigation going?
Vampires,
A
damn it!
friend of Martha Kelugaro has a strange story to tell. He maintains she was assassinated by a dark power.
Lord
What?
Voldemort.
And what do the police think?
According to them, the reporter is a pathological liar, and Martha wasn't right in the head. As for me, I'm coming to more or less the same conclusions. I have proof that Martha believed in vampires and kept them away with the sacred host.
How could that be? File seemed so serious. What a disappointment. And as for those vampire stories, tell me, was the parish priest aware of this?
Yes.
And he did nothing? Said nothing?
Well, that is,
Don't tell me he took part in these magical rites.
in fact, yes.
Good heavens! And was he paid for that?
I have no reason to think so. He seemed entirely disinterested and sincere to me. And he's very sick.
Sick in the head.
Rest assured that I don't want to incriminate him personally, but we have to react at once, or people will say the Catholic Church encourages superstition. Stay near your phone, please, Arno. I'll make 2 calls and get right back to you.
Must resist religious jokes. It hurts. Hello?
This is Father Arno Moriani.
Arno, I've informed the Diocese of Albayula. They're stunned and say it's a setup. Are you sure about what you're putting forth?
The testimony
I'm
of
not
Father
picking up what you're
Gregorius
putting
seems
down,
conclusive
Sonny.
to me.
How could a priest encourage practices of the sort? That's the crux of the matter. I spoke about it upstairs and learned to my consternation that we're not dealing with an isolated instance here. Believe it or not, this is the 20th century and there's a fresh outbreak of belief in vampires. It's probably connected to the success of certain novels that have troubled impressionable minds. And so, I have new instructions for you.
Read Bram
I
Stoker's
suppose that I
Dracula.
close
In
the
stores now.
Kelugaro file then?
Certainly. And you open another one on vampires.
Excuse me?
You heard me right. Study the legend. Demolish it. Prove that it is not based on reality. We'll give your report widespread distribution.
Yes, but hasn't the church already taken a position on the question?
To be sure, Benedict XIV formally condemned belief in vampires, but that was 2 centuries ago. It's time to bring his message up to date.
What exactly am I to do?
Seek the origins of the myth, but also pay attention to its literary aspects, its recent manifestations. Show that those phenomena that terrorize the naive are either pure fabrication or have explanations that aren't supernatural. Let me insist on one point, Arno. For your research, it's important that you consult the best scientific experts. We need the authority of a doctor and a historian to support your conclusions.
Do you think that a rational discourse can vanquish superstition?
I know the battle is never definitively won, but it must be fought. I hope the task doesn't seem too daunting for you.
Not at all. You're entrusting me with an unexpected job, but a very interesting one. I'll get at it without delay.
I'm counting on you.
Coolest job ever. The village currently has no priest. Do you think I should celebrate Mass in the church? Why am I asking this?
It would seem self-evident, but the diocese might object. I'd rather not run the risk, unless circumstances force you to. If you had to celebrate a funeral mass, for example.
Or a mass
Goodbye,
funeral.
Your Eminence.
Be well, Arno.
Okay, so we have a new objective. Disprove vampires. Not quite scientific to go out of your way to try to disprove something. You look at the facts and then come to a conclusion. But, oh well. Can we go this way so we don't walk past him? We can. Okay. Hello, Senor Mustache.
It just so happens that my congregation has ordered me to undertake an inquiry on the vampires.
Inquire? We have to fight.
Suppose they exist. If that's the case, isn't it essential to study them first? Know thy enemy.
Ours is wily and difficult to get at.
We're gonna get that
unless
wascally
we take
vampire.
The path of the dragon. That was Martha's conviction.
The path of the dragon?
It's kind of like the Eye of the Tiger, but
The dragon,
evil.
the vampire, Dracula. All these names designate our adversary. The path of the dragon leads to his lair. Look at this file that Martha entrusted me with on her return from Turkey. She had established that the path comprised 7 trials. The related documents are sorted in 7 folders.
More
that
reading!
one. It's Raphael's crucifixion.
Yes, photographed by Martha. According to her, this painting has a connection with the first stage on the path of the dragon.
Really? The painting has a hidden meaning?
Martha thought so. She spoke to me of other versions of the same work of art, slightly modified reproductions she examined in private collections. According to her, to understand the hidden message, the original's not enough. It has to be compared to the copies and the variations noted.
Do you have other versions of the painting?
Unfortunately not. Martha gave me this file at the beginning of her research, for she feared her papers would be stolen. Afterwards, we had a falling out, and she didn't transmit anything else to me. I'm certainly lacking some essential pieces.
We're radically changing style, you could say.
This other document is a sketch Martha made of an ancient bas-relief.
The inscription is hard to make out. It vaguely resembles Enochian.
But the drawing is clear. The figure is slashing his veins.
I see the sketch is classified in the first folder with the crucifixion. Is there a connection then between these 2 documents and the first stage of the path?
For Martha, there was no doubt about it. Here's a sketch of another bas-relief, from the same place as the previous one. Martha associated it with the second trial.
There aren't any other documents? Nothing for the 5 last tests?
They're all I have, but I'm sure that Martha found many others, if I'd only been more conciliatory.
Okay. Anything else we need to do here? Okay, we looked at that, we looked at that, we looked at that. Let's talk to you a little more, I guess.
Father, we have to follow the path of the dragon. Let's go to Turkey, since Martha went there. Together we'll succeed.
I don't think that my superiors would appreciate that initiative. However, I promise that I'll think about it.
Okay. For my investigation, I will have to consult a historian specialized in vampire mythology. Well, we already know who that is.
Unfortunately, those I know aren't accessible. But I really do need help to assemble the documents about the path.
You told me you had a falling out with Martha.
One day, I found her in a state of shock. She wouldn't tell me anything, but I understood that she had been threatened. I told her she was taking too many risks. She wasn't listening to me, so I got angry. She answered that she'd do without my help, and she never spoke to me again about the path. It was stupid of me. If I'd backed her up all the way, she might still be alive. Today, it's my duty to finish what she began. Alone, if you won't help me.
Why this document gathering? This meticulous classification? God, these are obvious questions.
Martha said it was the only way to discover objects and symbols related to each trial. She added that without that knowledge, it was impossible to attain the end of the path.
Where did Martha find her documentation?
She haunted public and private libraries. I know that she frequently visited the Alba Iula Museum. It burned shortly after her death. I have a feeling it wasn't by accident.
Have you returned to dispensary since Martha's death?
I went to give blood at the request of Dr. Maria Florescu.
You didn't try to recover any documents?
What's the point in harassing young Maria? I'm sure there's nothing left of Martha's archives. Our enemy has had plenty of time to destroy them.
Mm-hmm. Everyone seems to be giving Maria a pass on things.
Dr. Florescu came by. She asked for you to go to the dispensary because she needs blood donors, if you're so inclined.
Fine, I'll go there.
Blood donations, huh? In the midst of a vampire attack. I don't trust her even more. I went to visit the ruins of the Castle of Twilight.
Did you like that? Me? I never go up there. Anyway, with my legs, it ain't possible anymore.
She comes out from behind the counter and she has like these giant robot legs. I met a gypsy in the village.
She's back. The swindler. With her cards and her dice. She's cheated many a man. What a scandal.
Do you know if legends about vampires go around the village?
Those ain't legends, Father. Begging your pardon, but you shouldn't talk about those things. It brings bad luck. Tell me, Father, do you think Martha will be sanctified?
Hell no.
Do you
I
mean
mean,
canonized?
Yeah, that's it. I hope she'll be canonized. A saint and a pilgrimage. That's what Vladivista is missing. That'd sure make people come, you know.
I haven't the
Phrasing.
heart to tell him the truth.
so you're going to answer me, Father? She'll be... see ya. So, to the dispensary.
Come in! It's open!
Where would Martha be? Probably in the kitchen. So we found her last time. Yep, there she is. Hello.
Thank you for stopping by. I noticed that my blood stocks were really insufficient. Would you let me take a sample of yours?
Certainly. I was a priest medic during the war. I saw many lives saved thanks to transfusions.
Oh, so you're a nurse as well. Then you'll be able to do it yourself. Great. I have to rush off to see a patient on the other side of the village.
Oh, what exactly do I have to do?
Draw your blood and place the bottle in the refrigerated chest. The combination is easy to remember. The date the dispensary was built.
1905.
They're coming to get me. I have to go. Could you mark your blood type in the analysis reports? And also determine the types of the last 3 donors? I didn't have time to run the tests. Oh yes, and if the phone rings, please answer. See you later.
Well, it was nice seeing you, Dr. Florescu. Or should I
All right,
say,
down to work.
Dr.
Hope I haven't lost
Acula?
touch.
God, that joke's old. Okay, if you're squeamish, might want to pop out for a bit.
I have to sterilize this equipment before I use it.
Okay, now I did make it this far when I initially played the game. And all I remember is this part sucks. How do I... Okay, inventory. I think we still have the thing, do we not? Yes. Okay. How does... Do I have to do it in this sink? No. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, that probably wouldn't be boiling, would it? God, I'm stupid. Crank up the heat. Oh, right. Logs. There we go. Yay! They only call when I'm doing something, I swear. Hello. Okay. Son of a bitch. Yay.
Professor Heinrich von Kruger.
This is Father Arno Moriani. Dr.
Colonel
Florescu has
Clink?
gone out. May I take a message?
Please ask him to call me back as soon as possible at Munich 321941.
I'll be sure to do that. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Father.
I'm not a villain. He didn't look Nazi-ish.
It's not hot enough to boil the water.
Ah, we gotta do that again? Really? Lame. Lame. There we go.
First, I have to wash my hands with soap.
Ugh.
Never handle medical equipment with dirty hands. During the war, I saw far too many comrades die from infected wounds.
Ay, ay, ay. You know, we didn't have to do this in the last two games. Did this really require a animation sequence? Was it really necessary? Kill me! I'll just take that. What's out this door? Or not. Wait. Peekaboo! Peekaboo! I love it when jump scares are funny. So the equipment should go here? Here? No. Should be going somewhere. Oh, right, here. Okay, now, if you're squeamish, you might want to turn away. Let's just hope I can remember how to do this. This goes on the thing. It does not. Okay, don't see what purpose that served. Oh, right, this is one of the older ones. You gotta hook up the thing to the thing. This thing goes on that thing. This goes on here. Okay. Okay, we don't use that yet, I guess. Hit. Here we go. Alright, so this goes on here. Then this...
You've done this hundreds of times to other people, but giving yourself a shot is not the same thing. Be brave. It has to be done.
Yeah, let's put it on the obvious vein.
First, disinfect the area where we're injecting the needle.
Don't you tell me how to do my job. If I want you to get a staph infection, by God, you will get a staph infection. Okay, not sure what that did. Oh, maybe it's in here. Yeah, there it is. Huh. There we go. And we put it on there. All cleaned up. Good. Now, can I shove things in your veins?
That's the right place. All that's left to do is press the needle deep into the vein.
Did you have to describe it like that? I'm getting squeamish. Ah, God. It doesn't help that I have a stomach ache today. Oh. And people with anemia will be going nuts in 3, 2... wait, how do I thing? Did I miss something? What did I miss? I don't understand. It did the thing.
The blood's not flowing.
Oh. Okay. Wait, was it really cutting it off that much? Jeez, I think your arm would be blue by now.
The ampule is full. Perfect.
I like the way he says ampule. The ampule is full. Perfect.
Now I have to store the bottle of blood in the refrigerated cabinet.
Just riveting. Into the cabinet. Let's see, 1905. Set it right on the building. Yeah. Oh wait, no. It's gotta be up here. Okay, well, I'm not sure why this isn't working, but apparently we did miss a couple things. Maybe that ties into it. I believe it was here. Copper wire. And move this. Got our funnel. Good. Now we can science. If this lock would cooperate. Here, maybe if I move it down one. 18. Oh. 5. There we go. I just had to move it down one. I see. But the focus was clearly on the top part.
The door of the refrigerated cabinet mustn't stay open too long.
Yeah, we wouldn't want the Dracula food to spoil. Copper wire. And we put it there.
Now I have to figure out my blood type, as well as that of the 3 last donors, and update the analysis reports. The door of the refrigerated cabinet mustn't stay open too long.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through this, since absolutely nothing exciting happens and it takes forever. And I'm gonna be using the walkthrough anyway. So, I will see you guys in a few seconds. Arno Moriani, okay. Oh, well, we'll just stick that up there then. Okay, we need some of that blue shit. And we need some of that yellow shit. Which together combine to make green shit. Ah! Colors. Okay, I'll show you guys how this is done once. And then we'll fast forward through the rest. How about that? Okay, now. Let's try the blood. Nope. Blue stuff. Also, no. What the hell?
2 hours later.
Oh, wait. Do we need to... Oh. I'm stupid. You take the pipette. The pipette? Pipette? Pipette. Go back in your thing. Okay, so pretty much what you do to test the reactions is this. You know, you look at that, you record it, blah, blah, blah. Then you look in that file to see what blood type that corresponds to. We don't have time for that. At least I don't. But yeah, you get the idea. Now we take our results and put in the blood types. Let's see. Arno Moriani, B, we did that. Wait, that's just the cover. Alright. Stephen Luca, type O. Good for you. Janos Peckmaster, B. Janel Martinsku, a B.
Perfect. I'm sure of my results.
Awesome.
Maria should be happy. I've done my work well.
Yeah, I totally didn't, cheat. I worked hard, damn it.
I finished the sample and the tests. Have you been back long?
I should have come help you, shouldn't I?
I was
Yes!
delighted to be of assistance. But now I have to think of my own work.
Of course. I hope your investigation is going well.
It has changed character. As strange as it might seem, I now am ordered to study some supernatural creatures, vampires.
Vampires? Like Dracula?
Dracula?
Or in your case,
Don't you know
Dr.
it?
Acula.
It's a wonderful novel. I'll get it for you.
You'll only fall asleep by page 10.
Look at this book. It's Dracula by Bram Stoker. Oscar Wilde said it was the most beautiful novel of the century.
Nah, I'll just watch the movie.
What a massive novel. Let's peruse it to see if there are any interesting parts.
How cool is it that the Dracula book is actually in this game? Let's see. How was it all the people of How was it that all the people at Bistritz and on the coach had some terrible fear of me? What meant the giving of the crucifix, of the garlic, of the wild rose, of the mountain ash? Hey, those are all things we came across. Hint, hint. A band of Zangi, I don't know. A band of Zangi came to the castle and they were camped in the courtyard. These are gypsies, okay. Like the gypsy we found. There are thousands of them in Hungary and Transylvania who are blah blah blah. They're themselves, okay. Okay, we're not gonna go through this whole damn book.
I was captivated by this novel. And you know the strangest thing? The author used Vlad Tepes as his model for the character of Dracula.
Vlad Tepes? The voivode?
The very same
The what?
one. The one who used to rule from the Castle of Twilight, whose ruins you must have noticed. Vlad Tepes, nicknamed Dracula.
As I recall, Tepesh was just as... Tepesh was also a nickname. It translates to the Impaler. I mean, if that's actually his family name, he freaking lucked out. Professor Kruger called while you were out.
I can guess what comes next. He wants me to call back as soon as possible.
You don't really want to, if I'm not mistaken.
Professor Kruger is a great scientist. He worked with Martha and now insists on me continuing her research. But I haven't a research scientist's soul. Anyway, it's too much work.
Now,
I
isn't
hear
that
you,
a
sister.
shame?
Oh, please, Father, no sermons. I promise that I'll take it upon myself to finish the analyses he wants from me.
Could you give me a medical point of view concerning the belief in vampires?
I'm
This should be
afraid
interesting.
not. For me, vampires are romantic fictional characters.
Or not.
Not subjects to be studied.
Some members of the parish say that they are cured after praying to Saint Martha.
In fact, I did observe several spontaneous cures. But, you know, this sort of thing happens relatively frequently. Spontaneous does not necessarily mean miraculous. Everything is possible.
Well, not everything. I mean, not everything. Like, I don't know, samurai monkeys flying out my ass. That's probably not going to happen. I don't think that's possible. Kind of wish it was, though. That'd be awesome. Are you sure Bram Stoker's Dracula is really Vlad Tepes?
Stoker speaks of this voivode Dracula who earned his nickname attacking the Turks beyond the Great River at the very border of their country. That clearly signifies Vlad Tepes. That prince spent his youth as a captive of the Turks. Afterwards, he fought them fiercely.
What does Dracula mean? Ooh, I know this one.
The word has two meanings, devil or dragon.
Did the novel of Dracula have much success? Well,
It's been translated into every language, and I've heard that the director, Murnau, is going to do a film version, but I don't know if I will have the opportunity to see the movie.
I met Stephen Luca.
I like him. One day he came to the dispensary and took a picture of me. He gave me some prints.
Okay. Janos Peckmester, a history student, is staying at the inn.
I know him. He came to the dispensary too, to give his blood.
Interesting. Anything else?
Oh, it's very kind of you to visit me, Father. I'm always delighted to see you.
Okay. What else you said?
Father Arno, you'll probably think I'm trivial, but sometimes I get bored in this hole of a village. I think I'd like to see more people. Go out some.
Are you telling me you want to see other people?
Mother Arno, I'd be happy if you stayed a while in Vladoviste. The people here are a little rustic, and I greatly appreciate your company.
I think we're getting hit on. I mean, I don't mind, I suppose, but... we're totally getting hit on.
I have to talk with Janos. I wonder if he knows that his great hero, Vlad Tepes, served as the model for Dracula, the vampire.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he knows all about it. Creepy fucker. Creepy historian. Creepy historian. Nope. You're not Janos. Where is Janos? Maybe he's in his room.
It's not polite to burst in on people this way.
Well, I knocked. I need to ask you about fictional book characters. Join my fandom! Nah, he's not home. Hello, you creepy bugger.
Hello, Janos. I have a surprise for you. I've just been ordered to conduct an investigation into vampires.
It's for a school
What do
play.
you know? Anything can happen. I was talking about the same subject with Stefan Luca, who just arrived at the inn. He's kind of a fanatic, and firmly believes in the existence of vampires. You should question him.
You're more useful to me because you're a historian.
And
I have several
historian.
questions to ask you, particularly about Vlad Tepes.
Let's see, for my investigation, I have to consult a historian specialized in vampire mythology.
The recognized expert on the subject was Professor Van Bergen.
The great Orientalist. The man who crisscrossed Asia for the English Secret Service?
The very one. At his death, his superb collection was bequeathed to his successor, Professor Irina Buksa. Speak about her to Stefan Luca. I think he has her number.
So Professor Boxoff would be the person to consult?
Without a doubt. She possesses remarkable pieces on the subject you are interested in. A manuscript of a biography of Vlad Tepes in particular.
Good. I shall get in touch with her.
What else can we ask? Do you know that this Vlad Tepes, whom you so admire, is considered a vampire?
That's a legend forged by his enemies. Stoker was inspired by it to write a very bad novel.
Ooh. We got a hipster on our hands. What do you know of the Path of the Dragon? Well, it was the third game in the series. They switched producers or whatever, and you know.
It's a journey of initiation that some traditions associate with Vlad Tepes. Most likely because Vlad was called Dracula, which means the dragon or the devil. But it's more related to occultism than to history. Professor Bukzov will fill you in better than I can.
Okay. I visited Dr. Maria Florescu.
I assume she took some of your blood? She gets everybody to contribute.
Is that all we can say with you?
These ruins are impressive, aren't they?
Yes, yes, yes. Very impressive. Crumbling rocks. Now I believe we go back to the inn.
Luana.
Hey, girl. What do you know about vampires?
Certain things. But I also know the virtues of silence.
Okay. What do you know about the Castle of Twilight?
As much as I want to know.
Are you acquainted with the name of Dracula?
I have a feeling that before the end you will know more than me about the dragon.
You are not helpful. Okay. She always speaks very vaguely. Something tells me she's nervous. Well, I am a handsome young devil. Captain Mustache. Janos Peckmester told me you knew Professor von Bergen's successor in Budapest.
Irina Buksov? I tried to contact her, but I was rejected. She's incredibly mistrustful. It's a shame, because I think she knows a great deal about the Path of the Dragon.
Do you have her phone number? Who knows? Maybe I'll be luckier than you.
Do you think so? Possibly. You're a priest. That inspires trust. Call 445-827 in Budapest. But whatever you do, don't say you know me.
Oh, believe me, I don't tell anyone that I'm associated with you, sir. Oh, that was mean. I love you. And your creepy mustache. Whoop. Let's get a call.
Number, please.
I would like to talk to... you.
This is Irina Buksov.
This is Father Arno Moriani. Hello, Professor. At the request of my hierarchy, I'm investigating the persistence of certain superstitions. You are an authority on questions of folklore and popular beliefs.
You flatter me. Let's say that I have had the good fortune to inherit the library of my predecessor, Professor Hermann von Bergen. But tell me, what exactly is your investigation focused on?
The belief in those imaginary creatures called...
God damn it, Sarah.
Vampires.
Vampires. You're interested in vampires.
Just to demystify them, the Catholic Church wants to fight this superstition.
I have serious reserves about getting into the subject. I am in great demand, you know. Could you be more precise about the framework in which you're conducting your inquiry?
Ask random people and see what happens.
I was entrusted with it by Monsignor Felicio Briganti of the Congregation of Rites. If need be, you can contact him by calling Vatican 63.
Your references are serious. I'll accept to help you, Father, but I don't trust the telephone. Could you visit me at my office in Budapest?
Certainly. As early as tomorrow, if it's all right with you.
Very good. I'll expect you.
Oh, I forgot. I was told that you possess a volume related to my inquiry. A biography of Vlad Tepes?
That's true. Professor von Bergen left me Michel Beheim's account in verse. It's a 15th century manuscript, very precious. But did you know that the German prose version was reprinted in 1905? It's a brochure entitled Geschichte Dracula Vida, brought out by the Friends of the Vatican Library.
Published by the Friends of the Vatican Library? In that case, it won't be difficult for me to procure a copy. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Father.
Mm-hmm. Who do we call next? Okay, we gotta talk to the professor, and then Monsignor Briganti.
Number, please.
Professor von Kruger, I believe. Yes? Yes, Professor von Kruger. Here we go.
Alpha Eula, put me through to Germany. Munich, 321941.
This is Professor Heinrich von Kruger.
This is Father Arno Moriani.
Totally not
Professor,
a Nazi.
I'm calling back to ask for your help.
How can I help you?
Well, it's rather delicate to explain. You should know, first of all, that I belong to the Holy Congregation of Rites. I came to Vladiviste to investigate the life of Martha Caligaro.
Would you like me to talk to you about her? She was a remarkable woman.
To tell the truth, my mission has changed. For reasons that would be a little long to explain, I now have to investigate vampires.
Vampires? Don't tell me. The Catholic Church has started to believe in vampires.
On the contrary, my superiors want to combat this belief. They're alarmed to see how resistant it still is in the 20th century.
Yeah, very good. If it's to fight superstition, you can count on my assistance.
It will be invaluable to me, for I need the viewpoint of a scientist on the vampire myth.
Do you realize this is the very subject of the research I was carrying out with Dr. Caligaro? We discovered a disease, the P syndrome, whose symptoms are quite similar to those attributed to the victims of vampires. So the legend is based on specific medical facts.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your collaboration with Martha.
Dr. Calagarl contacted me when she was caring for a patient called Marescu. His granulocytes showed a very curious anomaly. She sent me a blood sample by carrier pigeon, and we worked on this case together.
She sent it by
the
pigeon?
result of our collaboration was the discovery of P syndrome. Afterwards, we had to specify the cause of the disease and perfect a serum. For that, I needed statistical data. I asked Dr. Calagarl to take a large number of samples from the population of Vladiviste. Unfortunately, the war interrupted our research.
Did you pick up again with Martha Calagarl after the end of the hostilities?
It wasn't possible for me to contact her immediately. When I was finally able to phone the dispensary, she was dead. It was Dr. Florescu who answered me.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Dr. Florescu has the competence needed to continue with Martha's work?
Of course. I've been insisting for some time now that she do so. As soon as she sends me the results I'm missing, I'll be able to find a serum that's effective against P syndrome.
Oh, okay, so that's why we gave her our blood, not just a normal donation. According to you, vampires have no objective existence.
I just say that they're not supernatural creatures, but there certainly do exist mentally ill people who are bloodthirsty. Look at Countess Elizabeth Báthory, who in the 16th century bled to death hundreds of young girls before she was walled up alive in her Carpathian castle. In addition, as I mentioned, patients afflicted with the P syndrome suffer from very odd physical and psychological disorders that make them resemble the victims of vampires.
Mm-hmm. Certain of Dr. Calagarl's patients behaved in a very certain way.
Oh, what did these patients do?
They went out alone in the night, as if they were answering a call. They ripped off the garlic necklaces the doctor had placed on them.
Somnambulism, allergy to garlic. Those signs are most likely associated with P syndrome, as are pallor, drawn features, anemia, and other symptoms we haven't yet discovered.
Mm-hmm. Have you read Dracula by Bram Stoker? Oh, yes, I fell asleep by page 10.
Unfortunately, yes. What an abominable novel.
You're too severe. That's not what Oscar Wilde thought.
I won't tell you what I think of Oscar Wilde, and I'll limit myself to the novel. It's a tissue of inconsistencies. Let's see. Stoker affirms that those who die as victims of a vampire should become one in turn. So at that rate, vampirism should spread like an epidemic, with a growth rate faster than Fibonacci's famous immortal sequence. In a first stage, all of mankind would be vampirized, and then, in a second, the vampires would also disappear, not having any victims left to feed on. So, Stoker's hypothesis is therefore perfectly absurd. No species can live without regulation.
It's a very intelligent point. Apparently, you really didn't appreciate Stoker's work.
Stoker considers himself a historian and a scientist, but he's just an oddball. His novel is a collection of implausibilities. Take the character of Lucy. That woman, he keeps saying, is getting better, until she just dies. A victim of Dracula, she's treated by transfusion. Blindly, of course, because at the time, we knew nothing of blood types. In those conditions, what are the chances the patient will accept the donor's blood?
About 1 out of 3, if my recollections are good. Nonetheless, in desperate cases, it's worth the trouble to try.
Certainly. But the good Professor Van Helsing, who is always described as a genius, repeated the operation with 4 different donors. The chances of survival for that poor Lucy then fell to less than 2%. It's probably the transfusions that killed her, and not Dracula.
Ha.
Let's get back to Van Helsing, supposedly an expert on vampires. He teaches us that they can read minds and change into bats. However, he's not worried about finding one of the latter at the window of the room in which he's holding a meeting. And then he seems so surprised that Dracula knows his plans. The naivety of that character is irritating.
Did you know that the director... What the hell? Did you know that the director Murnau is going to shoot a movie based on the Dracula novel?
Yeah, I know the work of Murnau. They call it expressionism. But for me, those morbid fantasies have much more to do with pathology. Tell me, could I ask you a personal question? Listening to your voice, I have the feeling that you're a little tense.
Yes, I'm not sleeping well.
Nothing else? You can confide in me. I'm a doctor, you know.
Well, sometimes I get the feeling I'm being spied upon. I'm sure it's only an
I always
impression,
feel like
but
somebody's watching
it's
me.
becoming an obsession.
Father Arno, you are sensitive and susceptible, like our late lamented Dr. Caligaro. These are qualities, but they make you vulnerable. Above all, don't let your imagination govern you.
That's good advice. Thank you. I'll try to follow it. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Father.
Don't tell him anything else. He's gonna get all Sigmund Freud on us. And I'm not just saying that because of the accent. Well, that's part of it. Now we talk to Monsignor.
This is Cardinal Felicio Briganti.
This is Father Arno Moriani. I intend to go have a discussion with Professor Irina Boxov in Budapest to complete my file on vampires.
Very good. Will you be coming back to Rome directly afterwards?
If you don't see any problem with it, I'll go back to Vladoviste first. I'll be more tranquil there to write out my conclusions.
Yes, surrounded by dead people.
Excellent idea. You'll be able to take advantage of the fresh country air. I also plan on spending a week or two in the country.
I almost forgot. Could you have a work that was published by the Friends of the Vatican Library sent to me?
Certainly.
It's a bound volume. Geschichte Dracula Weide, reprinted in 1905.
No problem. I'll send it to you at your inn. Let me insist on one point, Arno. For your research, it's important that you consult the best scientific experts. We need the authority of a doctor and a historian to support your conclusions.
I understand.
And after you've finished your work, make sure you get some rest.
Goodbye, Your Eminence.
Be well, Arno.
Cardinals have like the coolest outfits, I swear. I think the Pope got gypped in that respect. Who do we talk to after that? Oh, right, we gotta talk to Ozana, then we head to the train station.
Ozana, I'm leaving for Budapest for a day or two. Would you please keep my room?
Well, that is...
Naturally, I'll pay you for my keep, even for the nights that I'm not here.
In that case, of course, Father. I'll keep your room for you.
Well, you know, if there's money involved, I can't say no. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Okay, Budapest. So we're in northern Hungary? Oh wait, no, this is Turkey. Somewhere in that area. Let's see, we got a grail, we got Floresco at a grave. Interesting. Budapest, 8 a.m. Right next to the Bitchin' Bridge. Okay, we are in Budapest, which I think is in Turkey or Hungary, somewhere in that general area. In the next part, we will talk to, what was it, Boscow? We'll talk to Professor Boscow and see if we can figure out a little more about the vampire myth. See you guys then.